Thanks for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector. Coming up, APU's mental health team says it's committed to community care. The National AIDS Coordinator calls for informed sexual choices, and GIS Dominica 2014 has officially been launched. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
If you can believe this,
come by my house and let me show you some movies.
why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies.
Thanks for staying with us. Parliamentary Representative for the Roseau South constituency, Honorable Ambrose George, is encouraged by work done thus far on Phase 1 of the government-funded Silver Lake Apartments project. The three-floor structure currently being built will comprise 4 single-unit apartments as well as 2 two-bedroom units. On a site visit on Thursday, the parliamentary representative received a project report from contractor Felix Thomas. Mr. George also had the opportunity to view various elements of the project.
In terms of the progress, the first floor, if you want to call it the basement, the ground floor, is basically complete in terms of structural work. They're now rendering the walls, and soon they'll be putting in the fixtures for the ground floor.
Mr. George told GIS News that he is impressed by the commitment of the workers towards the general execution of the project.
The progress has been made on the construction of the housing apartment complex at Silver Lake. I think it's commendable, especially when one takes into consideration the weather condition, which has slowed down the program to some extent. But what I've seen happening is that the contractor, along with his team, they have utilized every moment that they can as far as good weather is concerned. And as a result, they have not fallen back that much. In fact, it was only last night that they poured the slab for the second floor. I took a look at it this morning, and certainly that was looking very good. So they took that little moment in between yesterday, when in fact there was some little dryness, and did that. So, but they're there again today and preparing for the continuation of the project in terms of the laying of the blocks for the final floor, which is the third floor. So within the next days and couple of weeks, we should see the pouring of the final slab, which is the roof of the building.
The apartment complex will include standard features, including bedroom, kitchen, and washroom facilities. A parking lot will also be constructed.
The apartments will be fully painted. There's going to be 2 stairwells on the western and eastern side of the building, and the frontage of the building, that's to the main road. There will be a parking area. I just looked at it, and I think it can accommodate safely about 5 vehicles. So for a family of 6, a parking lot for 5, I think is commendable. And so we're looking at that as another feature. There's also going to be parking at the back of the building, because there's a yard space there, which, for someone who wants to utilize that space can also utilize it. So what we will see is probably less vehicles being parked on the highway, so that you can free up the movement of vehicles on the Valley Road, in particular that area, Silver Lake.
6 families who currently occupy a longhouse in the Silver Lake community will be relocated to the apartment building when complete. Minister George says government's decision to build the apartments is designed to improve the standard of living of the people of Silver Lake. He says while the occupants will not be required to pay a rental fee, They will, however, be required to make small contributions towards the general maintenance and upkeep of the apartments.
When we have apartment buildings that these require regular maintenance, the question is who is going to maintain the building? Now, the building is a building owned by the government, whilst the residents will be occupying the building. So the question of maintenance of the buildings would have to take into consideration, and probably the occupants may have to pay a token fee to meet, the regular check-in if there's a plumbing problem or something which requires repairs that could be used for that purpose. But the intention is not to charge a rent, so to speak, for the use of the buildings.
Construction on the EC $1.2 million apartment complex commenced in October last year. Plans are to have the apartments completed by the first half of this year. In more news, the mental health team of the psychiatric unit has assured its commitment to the field by engaging in community care trips. This team consists of psychiatrists, 2 doctors, a counselor, social worker, and an occupational therapist. In an interview with GIS News on Wednesday, Dr. Martina Burton spoke of the initiatives taken by staff to prevent discrimination against patients. According to Dr. Burton, community care is about providing the right support system to help patients achieve full independence despite their illnesses. Once a week, the team visits mental health outpatients across the island, as well as state prison inmates monthly to ensure that these needs are met.
At the acute psychiatric unit, in collaboration with the 7 districts, we have formed what is called a community mental health team. Us at the psychiatric unit, we take 1 day a week and we visit the 7 districts. We go out to see our patients, their families, we visit their homes. The objective of these visits are to review our patients, decrease the number of admissions that come into the psychiatric unit. In other words, what we do is we ensure that patients take their medication, we ensure that their family understands the need for their medication, and we ensure other aspects of their social existence. This is going to include incorporating these patients into the community so that the community doesn't have this stigma against our mentally ill patients. They participate in their care, their medication, understanding what is going on with our mentally ill patients.
Dr. Burton gave further insight into the team's work at the state prison, where various methods of social work are employed.
We go to the prison once a month. The prison has other doctors who visit to take care of the other needs of the patients. We see our psychiatric patients. We try to keep our patients stable. In other words, we see stable patients. However, if the psychiatric patients get sick or start relapsing at the prison, they are usually escorted to casualty, where they then come to us for additional treatment.
The psychiatric unit has formed alliances with the drug abuse prevention unit and the police force to aid in patients' rehabilitation. According to Dr. Laura Esprit of the psychiatric unit, aid from the drug abuse prevention unit and police force is sometimes necessary.
You have persons who may be aggressive, persons who need treatment, and in that case it might be difficult to go out and as healthcare workers go out and approach these ones. So we have to bring in the law, the police officers who could help us or assist us to actually physically bring in the patients or help us to medicate them at home.
The community mental health team believes it has taken an active approach toward the rehabilitation of its patients and is effectively executing its goal to participate wholly in patients' treatment.
You have from the very poor to high persons of high socioeconomic status suffering from mental illness. And what we try to do in an effort to decrease the stigmatization, we try to integrate them back into their communities where they are loved, where they are appreciated by their families. Because at the end of the day, persons with mental illness is just an illness, but they are human beings. So there's no need to fear them. They're sick, they get treatment, and then they go home to be loved by everybody else.
In other news, the National AIDS Coordinator, Julie Frampton, is issuing a call for informed sexual decisions. In an interview with GIS News, Nurse Frampton revealed that 13 new cases of HIV/AIDS are being reported for the year 2013, which means that the issue is not being taken as seriously as it should be. The coordinator stated further that the information exists, but the disconnect occurs when it is not transmitted into lifestyle change. That said, Nurse Frampton says it all begins with a choice.
It's about people making choices, smart choices, you know, and we want people to make smart choices. So you give them the information. It's just like we can tell you to wear a seatbelt how many times? You don't want to wear the seatbelt, not true? You get into your car and you just drive. It's the same thing. How many accidents we have with motorbikes? People still don't wear helmets. The same thing. The same concept. Behavior change is a process that takes a very long time. That's why when people tell me, are you talking about HIV again or still? Yes, we have to. It's information that has to continue all the time because people will continue to have sex. That is one thing you cannot stop, but it's how you do it. You have to protect yourself.
She used the opportunity as the carnival season approaches to emphasize the importance of those choices.
We always tell people, watch your behavior. Don't drink. It's just the same thing you say, don't drink and drive. Don't drink and expect you're going to make informed decisions about using a condom. And you meet somebody for the first time or somebody you went to school with that you had a crush on and the person come down for carnival, you know? We want persons to remember that. Or the person flashing some US dollars. One little moment of pleasure is not worth a lifetime of misery, you know? So we always try to remind people during the festive season, watch your behavior, be smart and make smart choices.
The eradication of pit latrines in communities across Dominica is the latest initiative being pursued by the government of Dominica under its Housing Revolution and Sanitation Program. Parliamentary Representative for the Roseau South constituency, Honorable Ambrose George, says government has taken the decision to improve sanitation, especially in rural communities.
If you look at, for example, Roseau South, which is a very diverse community, you have rural, you have part of the city as residential areas for the people of the Roseau South. And there's some persons within the rural areas that still use outdoor latrines, and so these were the persons who will be targeted.
The Division of Housing, with the assistance of constituency representatives, is in the process of undertaking assessments in communities across the country to determine the precise number of households which require proper toilets. Minister George says the implementation of the program is being done in a systematic and orderly fashion.
The parliamentary representatives who know the people, I would say better than everybody else, certainly have a critical role to play in terms of identifying the persons and making recommendations to the Ministry of Housing. So that would be the process that would be engaged. I have a list already, but we are tackling it systematically because I think the first 6 constituencies have been targeted, and then the second phase, another number of constituencies will be targeted because it's a costly exercise. We're looking at roughly between $7,000 and $8,000 per feature in terms of the construction of the septic tanks, the soakaways, as well as the actual fixtures, that is the toilet, wash basins and stuff.
Since the introduction of the Home Renovation and Sanitation Program, under the Housing Revolution strategy, the government of Dominica has spent over $20 million on home renovations, directly impacting the lives of over 2,000 people.
Do something crazy.
You should know what that means. Carnival 2014 has officially been launched, so locals and visitors alike should get set to play mass. A grand affair at the Crazy Coconuts on Wednesday evening formally published the year's calendar of carnival events. Dominica's Minister for Tourism waxed rather poetic when he sought to describe Dominica's carnival.
As a proud people, and we have always been from emancipation in 1838 right up until independence, holding on to our rich tradition that is steeped in the retentions of our African forebearers, authentic in form and content, that is patriotic yet internationalistic. We are readying ourselves to give the world our brand of what is now a global festivity that can hold its own anywhere in the world, Mas Dominic. Carnival is celebrated now in every major city around the world. Like I said, Notting Hill, Miami, New York, I mean, you name it, they have carnivals around the world. But our own Mas Dominic has stood the test of times and is still evolving into a major force once we maintain our confidence, our pride of place, and keep working together at making it a better and better carnival every year.
According to the Discover Dominica Authority, Dominica's carnival has been completely rebranded, and the theme Nous Connaître Vive will be the essence of the weeks of activities. Director of Tourism Colin Piper says the DDA will leave no stone unturned to achieve the overall goal of increasing the number of stayover visitors to the island.
One of the hottest and I dare say most long-standing strategies in destination marketing is the use of festival tourism, especially within our region, and in our case, Carnival, where a backdrop of religion and culture is fused to create this event, and the merriment of the event is an incentive for people to travel. Thus the connection to tourism and our target goal of attaining 90,000 stayover visitors by the end of the year 2015.
Dominica's Culture Minister, Honorable Justina Charles, says Carnival 2014 is the ideal time to show the world what it means to really live.
This is an affirmation of our positive outlook of life and the joy of living. We in the Caribbean are known for enjoying life. We know how to enjoy ourselves and have fun. We are hardworking people, but we always take time off to enjoy ourselves, relax, and have fun. À nous mutuer la terre, nous connaître, vivre en la paix, l'amour, gaieté, unité, nous connaître, vivre avec respect. These are the qualities that this theme is asking us to amplify. Carnival is all about socialization, about celebrating our creativity, our culture, and our artistic skills. This is the time when we showcase the street festive elements, the colorful costumes, and pulsating music in our own unique way, mixing tradition and modern. This is why we refer to our carnival as the real mass, and let us continue to promote it as such.
In the area of rebranding, DDA's head of marketing, Nikima Roye John Baptist, illustrated the vision for Mas Dominic 2014. That vision includes an increased social media presence, hence the invitation to tweet, share, and post about Carnival. A theme song has also been selected to further communicate the message. Here are some other scenes from Carnival launching on Wednesday evening.
Everywhere, walking the street, for one more thing, nothing for survival. We sitting on the sidewalk, or a surge of deadly urge and its devastation of our nation.
The 2014 Miss Dominica Queen contestants were also presented on Wednesday by reigning Queen Leslasa Amor Shillingford. The contestants introduced themselves and their platforms.
My platform is internalizing fitness and wellness as a lifestyle. So remember, Dominicans, as we celebrate, as we revel, do what is best for your body as well as what is best for your country.
With the platform Positive Self-Identity, I'm just encouraging everyone here to support Miss Dominica 2014 in a special way. Be sure you contribute, and of course I'd just like to encourage everyone to come to the Miss Dominica pageant on February 20th, 2014.
Representing the communities of La Plaine and Lilies, I am Octavia Prosper. My platform for the Miss Dominica 2014 pageant is empowering women against breast cancer beyond the pink. I believe that we should keep our bodies healthy to help prevent this disease.
My platform is domestic violence against women, children, and men. This year, I would like to urge each and every one of you to love yourself before you can love anyone else.
My platform is dance. And the reason why I chose dance is not only because it is my passion, but healthy as well. So let's promote being healthy.
I am 20-year-old Francine Tiffany Barron, and I am proudly representing, as Alex said, quote-unquote, South City Grand Bay. My platform is basically youth empowerment and development, reaching your highest achievement. I believe that we all have the potential to do so.
I'm Torrance Dorset, and I'm proudly representing Margaret. My platform is building unity within families. I have a love and a passion for my family.
The official carnival calendar says Calypso eliminations on January 4th initiated the season, and Queen Village launches are to follow this weekend. For the highlights of the season, get your copy on www.dominica.dm. And that's it for news. Stay healthy during rainy days. Coming up next.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Waterborne diseases are very common during the rainy season. Be cautious of contaminated water sources that could bring waterborne diseases. And if you're unsure of the water supply, boil it or buy purified drinking water just to be safe. Also, keep your surroundings clean. Dengue is the most rampant disease during the rainy season. Don't leave any water stagnant, and properly dispose of items that may promote mosquito breeding. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and your comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here at GIS, thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.